And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner. It's Thursday, January the 19th. Morning, Ollie. Unfortunately, Paul's mother has sadly died overnight in America. So Paul will be, obviously our thoughts go with Paul and his family. Paul will be away for a while. So Ollie, you are standing in for a little while now. But how are you, Paul? Not Paul. How are you, Ollie?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah,
how was the cycle
you
ride
okay?
in this morning? Yeah, how was the cycle ride in this morning?
It's getting a bit warmer, I think, or just getting used to it. Not sure which.
I took a couple of corners very slowly this morning. There definitely is a bit of black ice around.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Let's get cracking into what's going on in the mining sector. What would you like to start with today?
Well, let's start with VSA client Polo Silver. They own the Calico project in California. It's a massive silver deposit, one of the largest undeveloped pure silver deposits in the world. They are doing their phase 2. Well, they've completed their phase 2 drilling program, and the latest 15 sets of assays have just come out. And these have got some of the strongest intercepts that they've had to date within them. So the highlights are 1,610 grams per ton silver over 1.5 meters and 1,095 grams per ton over 1.5 meters. Those are both within larger intercepts. But the first is within the same hole of 140.5 meters at 189 grams a ton silver, which starts at surface, and then the high grade section is 6.5 meters. 6 meters at 658 grams, of which that bonanza grade is the bottom end from 92.5 meters. And similarly, with the second one, that high grade zone follows 112 meters at 138 grams a ton silver, also from just below surface from 1 meter. And these long continuous intercepts are pretty expected now for the deposit, and there are others within the announcement: 74.5 meters at 141 grams a ton, 57 meters at 138 grams a ton. But we haven't seen these bonanza grades before, and what's particularly encouraging is that they are below the current base of the mineral resource estimate. So when the new update comes out at the end of this quarter, they should get some expansion from being able to lower the base of the resource to capture that extra mineralization now known at the bottom there, which, as we now know, is high grade. And the other thing there is that they're building this high grade core. Those two key intercepts were just 140 meters from each other, and I think that'll help with investors understanding that this is a really robust deposit, and it's got a strong high grade center. When you increase the cutoff grade rather, you're still left with a very sizable deposit. It's not one of these huge deposits that relies on bulk mining to make the economics work.
No, all sounds exceptionally good, and we obviously like silver. It's listed on the TSX. I mean, one of the things that was interesting from my trip last week in the States was that, of course, the States, it doesn't really have a mining sector on their capital markets. If American investors want to invest in mining, they basically have to go to either the TSX, the ASX, or London. And right now, the Americans actually are pretty keen to invest in mining for a whole host of reasons. Here we have an American asset but listed on the TSX and being talked about in London. So if there are any American listeners, this is one of the silver stocks you want to buy. We like silver at the moment, we like gold, we like copper, we like the other one is just worth pointing out, tin. You mentioned that price has been moving up pretty nicely in the last month. I don't know if you noticed that. It's run up from about 22 to 28. It's getting a little bit of momentum behind it, so worth noting that tin is on a good run. Also, Ollie, just worth noting, we actually put out yesterday a video. It's about 20 minutes long on Tungsten West, but what it does do for anybody who's never seen the pit and the plant and everything like that, gives a really good video of everything that's going on and an update. Well worth spending 20 minutes watching it. If you go onto YouTube and just search for VSA Capital and Tungsten West, you'll find it, or drop us a message and we'll send it to you if you haven't already picked it up. Sorry, that was my little interview, Oliver. Ollie, have you got anything else you want to talk about?
There's news out from Sentiment, which we can cover, but yeah, the tin stuff is quite interesting because you've got a sort of tussle between China's reopening and what's going on in the semiconductor industry, because you've got huge capacity now coming on because there's multi-billion-dollar projects with a long lead time. So capacity is coming on, so production of semiconductors should increase, but the semiconductor manufacturers are now starting to report quite weak results and start to rein in their expectations. But given you've got the capacity coming on, that probably should result in a net increase for tin demand over the next couple of years, but maybe the expectations for sort of 25, 26, 27 growth, that starts to be a bit slower than what people were expecting.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of the commodities that I think that we like a lot longer term, isn't it? Short term, you'll always have sort of fluctuations, etc. There you go. Any other news you want to report? Or should we call it over?
Just Sentiment.
You said that. Sorry.
Hit their guidance on production and costs. So about 110,000 ounces of gold produced in Q4, which means 441,000 ounces for the full year. So Q4 was up 2% year on year, but down 14% Q on Q, lower grades and throughput in the last quarter. So that fed through to higher cash costs on the quarter, up 23%, but flat year on year at 997. And then capex was a bit lower, but on the higher base meant AISC of 1445, but a reasonable margin in the current environment. It's had quite a good run recently. I think now that the new management team has got a better handle on the ore body and is executing on the plan that they'd laid out and hitting guidance, that's now pretty quickly translated into an improved share price, obviously helped by gold tailwinds. The interesting thing at the moment on gold is that gold is probably just pushing over the top end of its RSI, whereas silver is comfortably in the middle and doesn't look that overbought, even though it's been holding up well recently.
I like both of them at the moment, Ollie. So ignoring the RSI, we're off to the races this year with them, hopefully. Anyway, let's call it a day there. Very good, Ollie, and we'll speak again tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.